Hi, I've been working on my blade guard cross cut sled, and here's a picture of it. As I walk around it, you can see it's the fence. It's got a T-slot. There's T-slots on the actual sled itself, some stop blocks with hold down clamps, and two stop block. That's where I store the stop blocks on the sled itself. And here's a picture with the extension added on. It attaches to the back, and it also has um, adjustment using a T-slot. As we go around, you can see it from the other side. This is a pretty long 2x3, and the end stop is adjustable with currently I only use a bolt, but I'll have to get a wing nut added on. I just don't have it currently. From another angle, you can see here with the blade guard up, and the blade is all the way into the fence. You can see the blade guard is tilting up, and it can go further, in fact, but it fully engages properly. It just goes up when the blade guard comes close to the fence. The cross-cut sled also has the ability to use the other miter slots, so that the whole cross-cut sled is to the right of the blade, and enables you to do bevel cuts. And I just show a quick example of the blade guard at an angle, and I'm just moving it slightly just to show you that it does hang over, yes, not perfect. Okay, just as I said before, this is just gluing up the fence, and this is nothing special. So I mean, certainly if you look at any of the videos from YouTubers like Mathias Wandel, Colin, Drew Fisher, James from King's Woodworking, and many others. They do a much better job than I do on making video of how to square up the sled and add the miter slot and glue up the fence. So I'm not really keen on showing the nitty-gritties of that, because there are much better YouTubers out there who can do that. But that's why it's sped up very quickly through this process. And the one that really inspired this blade guard crosscut sled has been the Newbie Woodworker, Dan Thomas, and he has a video showing a blade guard crosscut setup, both a full and a side one, I think he calls it. And I'll provide links to all those videos so that you can get an idea. Okay, here's the cutting of the kerf. Dan Thomas and he cut the kerf right through. I wanted it to be much sturdier, so I didn't cut it through, but you can see how I've done it. I just lowered the blade, put the sled on top, raise the blade, and then move it forward and back. Here I'm just cutting T-slots into the sled. Okay, and unpacking back the fence, and now I'm going to trim the actual cross-cut sled. And you can tell that it doesn't quite fit right with my my DeWalt table saw fence, so I had to trim it a little bit more, but that's okay. It it's just works out to about 18 inches wide by 25 inches deep. That's the current size of the crosscut sled. Okay, here I am just squaring up the fence, um, and going to cut it to size to fit the actual base of the crosscut sled. Okay, I'm here just plowing out a slot for the T-slot that I'm putting onto the fence. It's just faster with the table saw, and then I route out the T-slot. Here, well, I'm measuring out the width of the slot that I need to cut out for the blade guard to pass through the fence. Okay, of course you need to have a crosscut sled to make a crosscut sled fence, so I'm adjusting the blade height to be able to cover back a little bit thicker piece than a 2x4, and I'm just making a dado cut into the fence. Here I'm using just a square, just like everybody else uses to line up the fence and mark a certain distance. It's 3 inches from the back of the sled, and you can see I put a stop block at the back as well. And I'm just making some test cuts here, demonstrating cutting with a wide 2x6 and a bunch of little strips here too, just to show you with the stop block. Here I'm just getting a piece of plywood to make an extension for the fence. Unfortunately, my video capabilities are pretty poor, but I meant for the extension to go so you can see it's just visible. It'll be flush with the tabletop, but it's in a T-track, so it will be fully adjustable for any length and support the a longer wood piece. Okay, this next section, I won't talk too much, is about making a hold down clamps using toggle clamps and a couple blocks and some knobs, and that's pretty much it. In the end, in actual practice, I found that the T-track slots in the plywood weren't all that strong, so eventually someday I'm going to have to replace the T-slot with an actual aluminum T-slots. So thought I'd share that. Okay, here I'm starting to demonstrate the use of the T-clamp, toggle clamp hold down, sorry, and you know, it is a bit difficult or tedious to make the adjustments, but for now, this is what I've got. I think I'm probably going to make some regular hold downs for this, which would make it faster. But just showing you some cuts using the fence extension as well.